morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Grain Gauntlet. As always, 5 questions. This week we have 4 questions from our current clients and one from a prospect. This is Patrick. I'm Josh. Ready to go?
I am.
All right. Our first question. Will the Israeli and Iran war affect corn and soybean prices if the war lasts or spreads?
It should, because there's a risk to crude oil. But I think that when President Trump went over to the Middle East, he already had things pretty well arranged that if we attack Iran or if Israel attacks Iran, we knock out their ability to get a nuclear weapon. We need to keep energy and food prices cheap. You guys in the Middle East can help us with keeping crude prices cheap. We have not seen a spike in crude prices. So the effect I would have expected to see already isn't happening. Long term, I don't think it's going to be a long-term war because Israel's just, got total control of the skies in Iran. Iran is going to buckle. We'll see what happens, but I don't think Iran's going to come out with any ability to have a nuclear weapon, and everyone in the Middle East will be happy, and therefore they're going to do everything they can to keep prices low because that was part of the deal that hasn't been reported.
Yeah, there's definitely something that took place behind the scenes because to see not only what's already happened, but what's being rumored that's still to come, calling for evacuations in Iran, and yet the market's barely react. That's just very unusual.
Especially with crude, man. I mean, that's a major crude producing area of the world. Not to see crude spike $20, $30, that's weird. And so there's got to be something under the table that was agreed to. I'm sure the Saudis and UAE are very happy if Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon. So I think everyone is trying to keep energy costs as low as possible, and unfortunately, food prices.
Right. As a follow-up to that question, so what if China takes advantage of the war in the Mideast and moves on the Philippines or Taiwan?
China is not an aggressor. They've been the victim of aggression their whole history. Japan's attacked them 1,000,000 times. Mongolia attacked them, for God's sake. They're not a military aggressor. I don't see them doing that. They do things a lot more subtly. And I think they get Taiwan in time, not through war or weapons, but through subversion.
Okay, all right. With the limited weather risk for corn right now, what are some other risk factors that could drive that market up?
The big one would be funds liquidating their 150,000 plus short positions. If they do that, we're up 30 cents in a heartbeat. Who's going to stop them from raising prices once they start to liquidate? So funds is the big thing. Less acres on the June 30th report planted. No one's expecting that. That would be a big time bullish surprise. Lower quarterly stocks coming in on June 30th than what was expected, indicating even lower ending stocks. Or maybe just the realization that we are at a stocks to usage ratio we haven't seen in 5 years and worldwide for 11 years, and maybe that realization will finally sink in. Funds will get out and will react to normal fundamentals. By the way, we had a stocks usage ratio of 21, 22. You know what prices were. Why are we this low? It's fund driven, period. It's not fundamentally driven.
Okay. How aggressive should I be with corn buybacks as I'm selling old crop?
You should You should be very aggressive in the number of bushels you cover. You should be very unaggressive in the risk you take. In other words, go after 30 or 40 cents with some kind of strategy that will limit your loss to under a nickel or under a dime under for sure. You don't want to get caught with a big crop, weather staying good, and this thing going down to 360 and having a sale that's not great. We're not proud of the last sale we made. We are overall. We only had a couple opportunities. We took them. But we're not proud of the last sale because we never got a rally again so far in the summer. If we get that rally, we're going to benefit by adding 30, 40 cents, hopefully. And if we don't, we're not risking a whole lot off a sale that is not the best one we ever made. That's what you got to do. Cut your risk with the buyback, okay? Go fixed risk and replace every bushel. The big thing is farmers want to put $5,000 bushel buyback on a 50,000 bushel sale. That's not going to do anything, okay? Buy back the 50,000 if that's what you sold, but do it with fixed risk.
Okay. All right. And final question. This is from Prospect. This is the type of question I'm getting a lot lately. Granted, I've been talking a lot to people in Michigan and Ohio. So this is what I'm hearing. Despite the quick start to planting, this crop is pretty mediocre in my area and a lot of places that I'm hearing. When would that show up in the markets?
That's a great question. It should be showing up already. Our good to excellent is okay. It's not great. It's not 75, 76%. We don't have a whole lot of the extra. We got a lot of good. This crop in places has not got the GDPs to grow really big above trendline crop. We got acres still not planted in places, Ohio River Valley. We do have a good crop coming in Iowa. But again, there's a lot of weather risk still ahead of us. It should show up as we start to see the crop conditions reports going forward, and we should start to see it in supply and demand reports in July and August. I do believe they're going to come down on the yield from 181. Right now, we're looking at as competent 178.
Okay. And if we start to maybe see those in reports in July, August, maybe that will be the impetus for the funds to start reversing.
But yeah. And it has to happen soon because we get to the end of July with the huge South American crop coming, the spinach crop. For the next 2 months, the world's going to be awash with corn, unfortunately. So if we're going to get a rally, it's got to happen over the next 3-4 weeks.
Okay. All right. Well, great questions again this week, everybody. As always, if you want to submit a question, go ahead and email it to adminstaff@hedge-plus.com. Hope everyone has a great week.
You guys have fun this week. Take care.